On this channel, we cover loads of laptops that are performant, interesting, and very expensive. So when you actually go to buy one, you're probably gonna look for something like this. This is the Dell Plus 2-in-1 and it's not crazy expensive. Let's take a look. All right, how much power do we get into this thing? Here we can see we have 65 watts of power that is delivered over USB Type-C, which I absolutely love because this will charge your phone really fast as well. In here we also get a stylus. Oh, fancy. This is Dell's Active Pen, and they were kind enough to not just give us the tip, but we have tips if you end up running out of one of them. Very nice. I'm just hearing from our control room that this is actually an optional add-on, so bye. All right, there's the guy. Can we do the pull? Yes! All right, let's have a look at the Definitely Not an Inspiron 2-in-1. First of all, I really like this blue. It's the sort of thing that's classy, but not outright boring. And the design overall does not make me think that they just copied Apple, unlike their naming schemes. On the right-hand side, we have USB Type-A and headphone jack. And on the left-hand side, sadly, we don't have USB 4. We have USB 3.2 Gen 2 and HDMI. 2.1? 1.4. Dell! One thing I am not super stoked about though is it seems like that the fingerprint rejection is, it's not the best that I've ever seen. It's not the worst, but that's not great. One finger lift. Sadly, this laptop is not perfectly balanced, but I won't take away too many points for that. The outside looked really, really nice with like this metal back cover and the metal bottom cover. Once you open it up, you get most of the way there. The screen, very nice and glossy, but the palm rest is pretty plasticky. It has a bit of a drumline feel to it. Okay, let's be fair. We should move away this pad right here, but it's not the most solid laptop that I've ever seen in my life. That said though, this is a 2-in-1, so you can have it in tablet mode or tent mode or this mode that laptop makers always want me to show off, but I don't think anyone actually uses. And of course, laptop mode. Looks like the power button here is also a fingerprint reader, and it's also an excellent spot to segue to our sponsor.
Thanks to Viaim for sponsoring this video. Perfect for meetings and calls, the Viaim Rec Dots are your personal assistant on the go. They can transcribe and translate conversations all in real time, and then you can use the AI features to summarize everything and generate a to-do list of actionables. And I didn't even mention the best part. Both the case and the earbuds can record. Plus, you can use them as normal Bluetooth buds too, with 11mm dynamic drivers and ANC. Learn more about the Viaim Red Dot using our link today.
You know, I knew from looking at the labs data beforehand that this screen was underwhelming, and in person, it also is very underwhelming. It is 1920 by 1200, touch of course, and Dell claims that it is 300 nits peak brightness, and we measured it in the labs and it absolutely smashed that, reaching 301 nits. Now for the colors, what exactly your laptop can display depends on the color space. So if you want something that's able to really edit photos, look fantastic, have those super saturated colors, you want something that can cover all of DCI-P3. If you're not looking for that, you want something that can cover all of sRGB. That is what most web content is, and this right here can cover 63.7% of sRGB, which is pretty bad in 2025. This combined with the underwhelming brightness means that this display is adequate. We also measured an average delta E of 7.68 when what you want is less than 2 for color work. Now I did talk to Dell about this and they said that it is expected to get those color results, and if you want a better one, maybe go for the 16-inch 2-in-1 because that has a mini LED display. Let's see how it is for writing. Seems pretty good overall. It's nice, it's accurate. Man, I wish I knew how to art. That would be so cool. Now, even if the display is a little bit underwhelming, the specs themselves are at least whelming. In here we have a Ryzen AI 5 340, which has 6 cores and boosts up to 4.8 gigahertz on 3 of them. The other 3 are Zen 5C cores that only go up to 3.4 gigahertz. So hopefully that helps us in the battery life department later, but it will not be helping us get any Cinebench records. That said though, you can spec it with a Ryzen AI 7 350, which should be a bit quicker if you do need the power. And here we also have 16 gigabytes of 7,500 mega transfer per second RAM, which means you probably cannot replace it. You also have a Micron 512 gigabyte SSD. MediaTek, which is disappointing, but Wi-Fi 7 wireless LAN card, which is really nice to see. And finally, an AMD Radeon 840M graphics. Actually, why did I say finally? We also have an NPU. This does AI, but does it game? Let's see how we do in Rocket League here. I'm at 1200p, high quality settings, no anti-aliasing, and this is looking half decent. Like, it's obviously not incredible, but I was expecting less, if I'm honest. Never mind, are we getting scored on? Nope, it's fine. Great computer. Moving on. You know, I wouldn't call it loud, and we are in high performance mode, but it's not quiet. I would call the noise acceptable. I think I'm going to give this keyboard a B+. The switches themselves are fantastic, and for the most part, it is really, really good, but the problem is the chassis rigidity just isn't quite there, and in particular on the left-hand side of the keyboard, it is really floppy. I am not a perfect typist, so I am kind of bad for using left shift at times when I'm also hitting like F or R or E or something like that. And when you hold down the left shift, a couple of these keys become just worse. Oh, it's so close to being amazing. Might upgrade it to an A-. Just give it an A-. We were talking about noise though. I suspect that I will be underwhelmed. Speakers are downfire. I'm gonna see if, Oh, this chassis is so floppy. You can click the trackpad. Oh no! Oh no! What are you doing, computer? Dell, make your chassis better. We'll get to the MacBook in a second, but I want to try something that is insulting. In fairness, I do have a Pixel 8 Pro, which costs more than this laptop, I think. But also, it is a phone and it sounds better. It has more bass and deeper extension. I don't think it's quite as loud as this laptop, but ow. Just for fun, let's hear it against the MacBook. All right, in today's fight, we have Logan Paul versus some school children. The school children represented by the Dell Plus 2-in-1 and the MacBook. I'm sorry for that, Dell, but improve your speakers, jeez. Up top, we get a 1080p webcam, and my favorite thing about it is, if you don't want anyone to see you, they cannot. There's a little flippy flip switch on the top, so you can completely turn off the webcam, but if you do want to have it on, it looks pretty darn good. Dell, have you fixed your webcam woes? It really seems like it. I'm pointing at studio lights, my face is still mostly exposed. We're moving around here. Oh wow, my face is still correctly exposed. There's not a whole bunch of noise, nothing like that. Looking over this way, we have a tiny bit of detail in this, even though it's completely black. Overall, I am pretty impressed. Dell has, in the past, neglected their webcams, but this one right here seems like they have changed that. All right, let's see those Wi-Fi 7 speeds. Wow. 7 Phillips head screws later, 2 of which are captive, which means that this should be pretty easy to get off. We are able to get inside. We can see that we have a heat pipe right here, just one of them, and one fan, and it was a tiny bit loud, but I think totally acceptable. We also have our Wi-Fi 7 chip right here, and a tiny little SSD, but if If you want to upgrade it with a bigger one, you can. Now, although many of the aspects of this laptop have been what I would say are fine, there is one part that is exceptional, and that is the battery. Right here we have a 64 watt hour one, and it is able to get us 8 hours and 48 minutes of battery life. That means that even though this is not the most powerful or really the best at anything, you can do not the best at anything for a really long time. And I think it's competent enough at everything that I think I can recommend it. This thing comes in at $850 as spec'd, and if you want to get it even cheaper, it's on sale for $699, which in my opinion is a fantastic buy. Is it a great machine? Maybe not. Is it a machine that you probably are going to buy anyway and be totally happy with it? Yeah. So huge thanks for watching, hit like, get subscribed, and I hope you have a great all day.